We are live. We are live. We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Got Super Dave over there dropping the chats. Really appreciate you, brother. Oh, look at here. Look at here. LBG.
What's up, SK?
Oh, I can't call it, brother. What's happening with you?
Nothing much. About burnt.
Man, I feel for you, brother.
Yeah,
I feel for you.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Oh, yeah. But
Yeah,
hey, you got to keep that money rolling in, right?
that's right. Ain't got no other choice now.
No doubt. No doubt. We all don't have a choice. You got to have it coming in.
Gotta have it coming in.
Yes, sir. Super Dave, what's been going on with your brother? I see you over there dropping the links, man. Tell me a fish story. Got old Slick over there too. I know Slick passed by some water. He got real close to some water today. He took some pictures of some water, but he still didn't wet a line. And I gotta mess with him. I got to mess with him. Man, I tell you what, man, I'm about in full blown bluegill mode, man.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Bluegill mode.
Yes, sir. It's fun, dude.
Oh, yeah, it
It's
is.
a lot of fun.
It is.
And some good eating, man.
That's right.
Y'all went and knocked that sack off the other day, man. Came home and dropped some of them in that old hot grease and made us some fresh, never frozen bluegill tacos.
Oh, for real?
Man,
Good.
yes, sir. Hard to beat them, man.
Hard to beat them.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Wayne, I seen y'all got some good rain down there last night and this morning. I was wondering if you was gonna say you was still dry. I knew
Nah,
you couldn't say you was still dry. There's
not.
Crappie Day, Mr. Fahim. He said, rain, rain. Yeah, y'all been getting it up there in North Texas, man. It's been on and popping with that rain and lightning and
Yeah,
wind and just all over the place.
yep, it's been bad.
Yep, JR, that's LBG.
That's right.
Yeah, Steve won't be with us tonight. He's tied up, so but we're gonna still talk about crappie fishing.
I thought we were talking about Brent.
Them too.
Yes,
Brill, perch,
I miss.
bluegill,
That's right. Shellcrackers, all that.
copper nose, shell crack. Hey, I knocked down I think 5 or 6 the other day, man. You know me. If they old enough, hey, they old enough to bite. They old enough to cook.
They ain't got a chance. They-
Yeah, them shell cracker, man. Them jokers there, they've been elusive with me, man.
huh.
And I was just using a straight jig. I wasn't using a cork or anything.
Yeah.
Man, I was having to get a jig crazy action. And but the wind was 30 miles an hour that day. I was out there on a Saturday. And then, the
That's
weekend crowd was out there. And
right.
man, old Lake Conroe was rolling, but I was still having me a blast.
Oh yeah. All the bite them fish bite.
Yes, sir.
Them fish
Slap
good.
B. Yeah. There's Murdoch. What's going on, Murdoch? Murdoch, you ever fish for
Well,
bluegill? Wayne say he ain't dry now. Yeah, it
right.
came down pretty good along that coast this morning. Yes, sir. It's a lot of fun. I like watching that carp go down too for them bluegill.
Oh yeah.
But man, it's when them jokers on that bed, you present that jig right. That thump is as good or better than a crappie thump.
Oh yeah.
And they don't all thump it, but when you can find that aggressive one, man, he can thump it pretty good. Some of them with the as bad as that wind was, I just see that line just jump.
Jump.
Yeah. And other ones, I just go to give that jig a little action and it I just feel that weight.
It took. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been hitting with that old cork though.
Hey, that cork works good.
Oh yeah.
That cork works good.
Caught with the
Mer-
special sauce.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a cool little setup that you use, man. I looked for some of them hooks today, man. It's hard finding them hooks.
Nah, get it from
I'm
Walmart.
telling you. I know. I
Well,
went to I went to two of them today,
for real, I
and
get
it's
this.
hard finding crappie nibbles now. I got to order some.
Hard finding them. It's really hard finding weights, the right kind of weights.
Little
Walmart
split
going to that.
shots.
Yeah, Walmart don't. They used to have the water gremlins. That's what I use.
Oh, okay.
They went to some high country or something like that. They use just about one
Yeah,
of the brands they do in the outdoor, I mean, the sports
yeah,
section, and they cheap. It's cheap.
yeah. Oh, yeah. They like setting the ones that don't have a little clip on the back to where you can open it back up.
Well, they have them, but they just made cheap. They don't last long,
Yeah, you can
and
squeeze and then they break apart, break into two pieces.
they water gremlin had like 5 or 6 different variety sizes,
Uh
all the
huh.
way up to BB, all the way down to BB rather.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Tell you what, folks, we usually always talk about. We're gonna still talk about crappie fishing tonight, but man, a lot of you that don't bluegill fish, I'm gonna tell you now, it's fun,
yeah,
a
real.
lot of fun. But like I said,
That's
if this rain would let up, I'm going gill chasing Friday. That's what's up, man.
that.
Wayne, if you've never had one, you don't know what you're missing.
That's right.
There's Mr. Conroe. What's going on, Tort?
Port.
Yep, Crappie Day. Say them bull
Right.
gills is his favorite. They're a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
Lots of fun.
Slab bust.
There's Lynn say, SK, I can't wait. Oh, I can't get the site to open up. All I have is a picture of a bluegill and no sound.
Hmm.
Huh. You may want to close it. You talking about for the live show? I guess you're talking about. You may want to close it out and open it back up. I guess that's all I can recommend. I'm not real sure. Merrick say SK crackers and gills are one of my excuses to stay off them big lakes during the crappie spawn. I crappie fished one time this spawn. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I'd much rather hear the during the spawn when the when the crappie up shallow, you'd have to fish deep on brush piles to catch the bluegill, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times you run into a lot of small ones doing that.
Yep.
And these suckers that I'm talking about catching, you can fillet them and get a fillet as big as a 10-inch crappie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Bert Chet says, "Good evening. Does the magic red jig work for bluegill? It just might. I've never tried it.
It probably will. You got to get a different size.
Yeah." You got to hear my mess with you about that red
Yeah.
jig.
They gonna be buying from Steve after a while. I'm leaving it.
That's funny, man.
What's up, Joey?
There's Joey. What's going on, my brother? Hey, I texted you earlier. I was gonna see if you wanted to come on tonight. I knew Steve wasn't gonna be on. Was jumping on in 5 minutes. All right, I'm gonna send you the link. Get Joey come on. We got him a. He done put it out now, so he done got him a brand spank new bass cat. Super nice looking boat. I hadn't seen it in person yet, but seen pictures of it. It's a really good looking boat. I just sent you the link, Joey. If you want to jump on. I'm not forcing you to jump on, but if you want to, you can come on. Craig say LBG found the gills.
I
Good
did.
job, buddy. Hey, I
Appreciate
tell you what, he knocked him in the head
Yeah, man, that
a,
boy,
a
man,
few times. Yeah.
a couple times.
Yep. Thing is, all normal spots they got got beat up
Compromise.
pretty good. They got compromised. That's the proper word to say.
Compromise.
But past couple years I've been on some other stuff anyway. So
All
Torque
right.
said I went and got on some gills and crappie Saturday today. That's
Oh,
super
cool.
cool, man. How did the lake look? What was the water? Was the water clear, or what end of the lake did you fish? How did the water look, Tort? Slap B
They,
say I hadn't been brim fishing in a while. Yep, it's a blast though. May go this year. Only have one lake near me that has giants in it. Yeah, the giants are the fun ones.
you ain't by yourself or slab. We ain't got about 1, 2 near us.
Yep.
So don't feel bad.
Yeah, Lake Houston. The crazy thing is Conroe dumps into Lake Houston, but Lake Houston don't have none of the biggest bluegill I've ever caught off Lake Houston is maybe 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And they I found really active beds, but the big ones they just I don't I guess they don't come over the dam.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they don't produce.
Nope.
I fished
Murdoch
them.
said
Go
you'd be
ahead.
surprised how early red ear will spawn. About the only time I can find just shellcrackers in mid March.
That's right. That's right. A lot of people don't believe that.
I know
They
they go before the bluegill.
very a long time before the bluegill.
Yeah, it's just like Sheldon Reservoir. It a lot of times it can be cold, and you'll see that place will be stacked
Mm-hmm.
from people out there fishing for them.
Yeah, they next in line.
Yeah, tell you the truth, I I sort of believe they go before the crappie.
Mm-mm, nah, a little too cool. Putting on, I guess, putting on your lake and where
Yeah,
you're at too. But most time they suck it.
yeah,
Bluegill lads, they lay,
yeah,
they want it
yeah. They
hot.
go
They want
through
it hot.
summertime.
They
Yeah,
want it hot, hot.
but I'm gonna tell you now, over at Sheldon, man, I'm talking about. It's been some cold years, and I see people out there laying into them.
Yeah, shank pan to bite. They like that though. They're
Yeah,
a tough little cookie.
yeah. Good
You,
eating too, man.
you never see them pour like you catch the bluegills in August
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
thin out. You'll never catch a shank pan like that unless something wrong with them.
yeah.
They never thin.
Yeah, it's sort of like a black crappie versus a white crappie. After the spawn,
Yeah,
them white crappie be sort of thin,
yeah,
especially the males.
yeah. Shank pan, they not gonna thin out. You know, they bottom feeders anyway.
Yeah.
They feed up the bottom. They eat up top, but they basically bottom feeders.
Craig say no red white jokes today. No red white jig jokes today. Slappy say Coosa River not a good place to brim fish. They just ain't no big ones there. I've never caught or seen a huge brim out of there.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the way Lake Houston is. Like you say, Gville, Gunnerville has some giants.
hmm.
Lynn says the wife pulled the site up on her phone in time for me to hear you tell me to try it again. Worked. Thank you. Without a doubt. That's the way it goes sometimes on old YouTube. JLD, what's happening, my man?
What's up, JLD?
Craig said Joey joins, I'm leaving. That's funny. Oh, South End, how did the water look?
I know
He
it's
said
muddy.
Main Lake is clear. That's what I need to hear. I might try to get out there. Might try to get out there. And that's crazy. I mean, they got a lot of rain up there, man. Conroe watershed, all Huntsville, all through there. They got pounded hard.
It's muddy on the north end.
Oh, it's muddy on the north end of
It's
Conroe.
muddy on the north end, yeah.
Cool. Murdoch say shellcracker are my passion, man, because I can never get it. Can be a fish every cast and gone later the
Yeah,
same day. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They move. They move pretty quick.
I will tell you this. This is something that I've seen since I've been chasing these bluegill. You'll be. I'm talking about as soon as that cork hit the water, bloom is gone. Bloom is gone. Or if you cast every single cast, then they'll just go dead. And from what I've seen, is if you fish that bed hard enough, you'll either catch a big old catfish or you'll catch a bass. And once you get that big fish away from there, them bluegill come right back. Have you seen that gill?
Yeah, yeah, they'll leave out. They'll stop biting. And
Yeah,
like I said, you either catch a bass or big
or
catfish.
catfish. Yep.
Yeah, they'll stop.
Yeah, they slowed down big time on me one time on one bed, and none of the beds were super hot. Uh, Last Saturday when I was out there, but they did shut down on me. Then I caught a bass, and I mean immediately when I got that bass out of there, they were
Yeah.
right back. I was right back to catch them. What's going on, Joey?
Hey, what's happening?
What's up,
How
Joe?
you enjoying that new boat, brother?
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a grown man rig right there.
I'll bet.
Ty.
Just cranking that 250 up, man. I know that's I'm addicted to that sound.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating at first, and then when that thing well, I'll put it like this. There's a big difference between a 250 and a 90, and that the way that hull performs, as soon as you nose it up, you get to about 10 miles an hour and the nose sticks straight up in the air, and then you thump it for the whole shot, and the nose basically stays right where it is and the whole back end just picks up out of the water, and it don't like nothing between 10 and 30. It's like you're either
Wow.
going to go 10 or you're going to go 30. So
Mm,
I'm learning it still, but I'm having fun too.
I know that's right. Congratulations.
Yeah, you trimming all the way down when you
Yeah,
take
yeah,
off?
all the
Yeah.
way down,
Okay.
and then it's that whole shape. The whole design on that thing is. I mean, I was in waves that I would not want my G3 in, and
Uh-huh.
it rode like a Cadillac. I mean, it
Yeah.
cut through, rode real smooth. So
That's
it'll
good.
just I'll get used to it. But yeah, it's definitely
That's a 20, right? Or 21.
it's 20 foot 2 inches, so just
Okay.
over 20 foot.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait until I can make my move because I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you
it
now there is a huge difference between a 19, 18, 19 foot boat versus a 20, 21. There's a big
yeah.
difference.
That's
And
right.
22 is even better than that.
Yeah, they had one at the dealer. It was a 22 foot Jaguar with a 450R on it.
Woo!
But I'm not dropping 200 bills on a boat.
Yeah. Big bills, not little bills.
Yeah. Yeah. Geez.
Exactly.
No,
I'm getting situated here so I can
Oh,
that's
it's all
there
enough.
we
good.
go.
Murdoch say, okay, y'all gonna have to use your imagination on my post tonight. I'm all thumbs tonight. Big hands and phone don't mix. You're all good, Murdoch. We're getting figured out.
That's right.
Yep. Did you get your units dialed in?
Pretty close. Yeah. I'm
Cool.
I'm pretty happy with the resolution I had.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, so I had Echo Map ones on my last boat, and this
Uh-huh.
boat came with Echo Map twos. And I kept hearing people say that they're basically the same unit with the
Now it's a
exception of
little they're
connectivity.
different. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
they
much better
clear.
resolution.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't
It's
used the twos on a 12-inch unit yet, but I did it on tens.
yeah.
And
No,
it's better.
it's a crisper resolution. Sorry about bouncing around here. I'm still trying to get myself situated, but crisper resolution. And I noticed that the I can run my gain about 3 or 4 levels lower
Oh,
than
really?
what I could. Yeah, so I was real comfortable at like 55, 56, where normally I'd be 58, 59.
Yeah.
I initially fired up. It was sunny, and I had it probably 63, and it was way too hot.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't take long to start dialing in with or getting my foot control. That started. I started catching on to that pretty quick. So, you know, but
Yeah.
I was not in good conditions. It was blowing 15 to 20 out of the east. Current was ripping pretty good, and so
That's the
um
best time though
yeah, so
to
I
learn your
I,
boat control.
I put about 2 hours on the outboard, and then had a little learning experience about how to switch fuel tanks. I won't get it go into detail. A rookie made a rookie move, ran out of gas in the middle of the lake. I'm like, what is going on?
Hmm.
And found that fuel tank switch on the back of the boat, and luckily we were good to go.
Yeah.
But no, so far, I would say I was in 1 to 2 footers. I had I was running about 3,900 RPMs and just getting over 40 miles an hour.
Nice.
Um, and that was about all I wanted to take. It came home with my back in one piece, and the the top end RPM on it's about right at 6,400.
Yeah.
So I was running 40 in rough water and high wind at 3,900 RPMs. You can start doing the math on that and figure out what it's got in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fast hull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bass cats, they get.
Yeah.
You got a jack plate on it?
I'm waiting. I got, I think, 2 more weeks, and I'm getting a Bob's put on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's got the manual one right now, but
Yeah.
I definitely want that Bob's on there.
Yeah. That way you can get it super tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get it super tuned in, I mean, other than going in shallow water, you really don't even have to mess with it.
No, no, it's but no, it was, I definitely bit off more than I thought I was going to with making that move, but so far I've been real happy with it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That's super cool, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be excited to get up on
Oh,
Conroe with it, so I'm not mad trying to fish.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
On your transducer, you got it mounted on the shaft, or you got it on the motor housing,
The for the
live scope.
console, the live scope is on it's on a bracket mount on the shaft.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Did you
think
go with
that
the
helps.
Minn Kota or the Gorman
No, it's a
trolling
Garmin
motor?
Force.
Okay.
Garmin Force 36-volt setup,
Cool.
and it'll move. So if with it dragging brakes and the motor down, it'll still troll at 3. And then
Nice.
when I trim up, it'll like when I trim the outboard up, it'll still go 3.2, 3.3, which my last that Minn Kota I had was a 80 pound, and so it was only a 24-volt system, and I would probably troll maybe 2.5 on a good day with the
Mm,
motor trimmed up. So
mm.
Hmm.
it's it all the every little bit helps, right?
That's right.
Yeah. You went with the what transducer do the twos come with? 156 or 154? GT. I
So
mean GT 54 or GT 56.
so the
I
on
know
so it,
the force probably going, unless it's the pro, it'll have the 54 on your troll
I
motor.
think it's a 54 on the trolling motor,
Yeah.
but I got the GT. I think it's the 38. Yeah. So the GT 38 is basically the 58 without 2D.
Oh, okay.
And I got so it's got a 38 on the transom with the in hull 8, the
Oh,
IH
okay.
8.
Yeah, yeah, for the
And
2D.
yeah, well, I
So
tell you what I like about that in hull transducer
you can
is
pick up
I'm
on
still
planes,
seeing depth
on plane.
on plane,
Yeah.
and that's a big deal. So
Yeah.
I really like how they put that setup in there,
Mhm.
with
I've
that
never
with that.
heard of 38 though.
Yeah, the 38 is like I
SI
said,
only.
it's a 58 without 2D.
Okay.
So
So you
so
got
it's
down imaging and
yep,
SI on it. Okay.
downside, it's got the same resolution as a 58, but it just doesn't come with the 2D,
Yeah.
Mm.
which
Snap
I
say
don't
he
use.
say he get ready to drop 100K on a boat. That's not what he said, but he said he wish he could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They so the nice part about what Basscat does with these SP models, which is the Era and the Cougar both, Little different hull design. The They've got what they call a SP, which is a special package,
Uh-huh.
and that's the hull. It's got a trolling motor, dual power pole blades, and the matching uh, electronics to, or let me take it back. It's got matching trolling motor to whatever the electronics are on it.
Okay.
So it is.
Oh, that's on my phone. I'm trying to block that light. Let me find a better picture.
Wow.
That may
So
be a better.
it's Yeah. So with mine having Garmin electronics, they automatically put the Garmin trolling motor on it.
Uh-huh.
That's beds right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but you can, like, they'll also run a Humminbird package with Minn Kota. They'll do an all Lowrance package. It's just whatever they order, however they order it
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
from that. And I was torn between the Cougar and the Era, based simply based on how the front deck felt.
Uh-huh.
But the Era actually has a little wider deck. It just noses in a little sharper.
Yeah.
So it'll still hold my buddy seat. All
Yeah.
that's still fine. But the Era is a faster hull than the Cougar. Um, when it isn't much faster, but it's slightly faster, a few miles an
Mhm.
hour. But with all of that, I mean, the package price on the boat was right at 80.
Mhm.
And
Then you add
so,
all the accessories.
no, that's it. That's out
Oh,
the
that's
door.
with the
That's
no,
with
come on now.
that's everything. That's
Live
power
scope,
poles, live scope, everything.
brakes.
Yeah, well, the brakes I took off my old boat and
Okay.
put on
Okay.
there, but it's got the twin power pole blades already on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not bad. But the prices have been coming down a tad bit.
They're working with you. They're working
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure they worked a deal with Garmin. They didn't pay near
No, no,
what
no. Oh
you're gonna
yeah. They
pay
yeah.
on the shelf.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so with that 250, and I tell you, the thing that I've been most impressed with on these Bass Cats is the trim level on it, and the lack of. I mean, it's pretty much fiberglass or aluminum.
Right.
There's not a lot of just plastic components.
Mhm.
And so that that says a lot. One of the cool things about their live wells is they don't put the buckles for the live wells on top because of the heat transfer. So the way a lot of people don't like Bass Cat live wells because they're triangle shaped, but they're
Mhm.
actually deeper, and they don't have, it's an insulated lid that's on top of it, so they stay cooler in the summertime. So I'm interested to see how the crappie survive in there uh, this summer, and see if I can actually live well fish deep summer instead of having to just throw them
Yeah.
straight in the ice chest.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, man. Only time if water temp get above 75 degrees or so, I'm gonna use that, especially if I'm fishing for fish. If I'm fishing a tournament,
Mm-hmm.
you're only gonna have what 7, maybe 8 fish in there.
Yeah.
Keep one just in case one die.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm gonna go out and do a, all right, Gil.
I'm up. I'm
Oh,
tighten.
okay.
I'm
Look
tighten.
like you was leaning down over there.
No, I'm tighten some.
Oh, okay. But if I'm going to catch fish, I want to go ahead and get them on ice. That way, it firms up the fillets. And if you're gonna put in, a number, I mean, in my opinion, I'm gonna put them on ice.
Yeah.
If I'm planning on going
Yeah,
out and catching a nice
if
sack of
it's a
fish.
meat run, then
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So
So yeah, other than running out of gas, it's been pretty good.
that's a, that's not a bad problem. At least you had gas in your other tank, though,
I
right?
did, I
Yeah.
did, yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of figured out because on the dash there's a button that you push,
Uh
and
huh.
I figured if I push the button from left tank to right tank, it would switch the tanks automatically. Well, no, that's just the gauge. So you have to
Oh.
get back and manually still flip the
Mm,
switch. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. I was pretty happy with the fuel consumption. It
yeah.
didn't, it did pretty good. So
Yeah.
Definitely in a different league. Definitely a that's it's definitely a grown man boat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna answer Burchett's. He answered asked a really good question right here on. I will tell you this: on some lakes, uh, they do get as shallow. Get that shallow to where you can look down there and see those beds.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen on Conroe, uh, especially the areas I've been fishing, these fish been spawning in 5 to 8, 9 foot of water. And it's not that clear to where you can look down there. But I have fished several lakes to where you look hard enough, you'll see those beds.
Yeah.
But the absolute best way that I know is using side imaging, and that's what those pictures were that I showed a while ago. When I held my phone up, it looked like little holes, a bunch of little holes, real
Hmm.
close together.
I got a
And
question. Once you're done in that regard.
okay, and I will tell you this: LBG is a master at finding beds. And I pushed for him to come on. I'm mad. Probably he was probably asleep because I know he worked today. But
Yeah.
I sort of questioned would he come on. Then I sent him the link to just come on out because I knew that this was going to be a question that would pop up.
Yeah.
And Bluegill can tell you more. I mean, I understand how to do it without electronics, but Bluegill can explain it to you a little bit more because there's things along the bank and types of banks that he look at
Uh,
that
yeah.
because he don't always use his electronics to find those beds.
No, it's just sometimes it's by sight. Sometimes, like especially back at home, lakes, you can look at the different color of the bottom. The bottom might be a lighter color than normal, than darker color. Most of the time, I sit back and I might cast to it first before I get up to it, whatever. Most of the time, it's beds. Or I stand up and do like bass fishermen do and sight fish for them. Just I stand up on the edge of my boat and I'll look. If I see them, I'll back up. Cause not you will spook them. But
Hmm.
like down here, I can't see them. But I just go back from where I used to do from when I first started brim fishing. I just pitch them toward the bank. But most of the they like a softer bank, a softer bottom than a hard bottom. Shanky pen, they prefer a sandy bottom. It's more sandy than anything. But brim, they like a not a mud bottom, but just a more it's a
Sand gravel mix is what
yeah,
I've seen.
yeah, uh-huh. They like that. So you
Yeah,
find the bottom, you'll find them fish.
yeah, and a
Is
lot of
there
times. Oh, go ahead, Joey.
is there anything, any kind of indication on the bank, any kind of is there a specific, like, do you notice they maybe congregate more at the base of, like, where there's a bunch of elephant ears or grass growing or something like that?
I tell you something, I'm gonna give it away. I'm just gonna give it away. Me, what I look for on a couple of lakes, sycamore trees.
Okay.
Sycamore trees. For some
Hmm.
reason out here, I don't know what it is about them. Pretty much about every sycamore tree by them fish, them produce fish. Fish by them. Fish them come from. I don't know what it is, but I ain't seen it. I ain't never seen as many sycamore trees on a lake. You know what I'm saying? Close to water like they are.
Yeah,
So
I will say this too. If you see or know an area that got, I'm not gonna say that they're gonna necessarily be exactly on a stump or a lay down or something.
correct.
But if you see some structure around, close to the bank, and I'm gonna say 4 to 8 foot of water,
Yep.
I would definitely fish around it. I wouldn't fish the structure, but I would fish around it
Correct. Correct.
without a
Because
doubt.
they're not all the way up on the bank.
Now, now.
They can be. You might catch 4 or 5 close to the bank, around about 2 to 3 foot of water. But pretty
Hmm.
much about anywhere from 3 to 4 on down, a little bit deeper, depending on where you're at in the lake.
Yeah. So another thing too is if you have access to a map, whether you it's paper map or electronic map, whatever, a lot of the secondary points have beds on it too.
Correct.
A lot of the secondary, not secondary beds, but secondary points have beds on them. The secondary points. So if you see if you coming down the bank and it comes out a little bit and then goes back in and then levels off, there's a point there that you can see, but that secondary where it drops off to even a little bit deeper water. A lot of times you can look on those and you'll see those beds too. But
I'm gonna
Murdoch
tell,
brought up. I'm gonna tell you, Murdoch. You can ask LBG. Man, I hunt for those shellcracker big time, and just like you said, you get on a bed and you may catch two or three of those shellcracker, but after that, it's I don't know whether they shut down or if that's all is there or whatever. But the gills will take over.
they're a little bit spookier than brim.
Yeah.
Chunk, chink pen. I'm gonna tell you another thing how you find them brim too. Any kind of mouse, lakes are different. Like back at home here, any kind of mouse that you find,
Uh huh.
I gut my fish. A lot of people fillet them now. Fillet the
Yeah.
brim. If you
Yeah.
gut them, like in sometimes you can see the grass inside of.
Where they
They
clean them
eat,
out.
they clean that area out. Sometimes you might be fishing. Look, it's a whole circle in the middle of a patch of grass. I pitch over in there.
Yep.
9 10, it's a bed of bluegill because they done cleaned it out. They
Mm.
not gonna let it grow up. They're gonna let that sunlight to come down so they can warm up and warm the eggs up. But they
Mm-hmm.
clean them, they clean that grass out, they eat it.
Yep.
They not eating it for food, they eating it just cause that's how they clean it out, clean
Yeah.
the area out.
I feel you, Slab B. Slab B say the boat he wants is 38,000, but them payments. I feel you on that. Murdoch say in with the gills all summer. Summertime in significant numbers. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
SS Minnow is a nice looking rig, Joey, without a doubt.
Thank you.
Is that what you calling it? SS Minnow?
No, no, I'm letting Craig have his fun. I hadn't figured out exactly what I'm gonna call it. I was messing with my wife one day, told her I was gonna call it the Can Do Canoe, but she wouldn't go for it. So I got to get more creative.
I
Yeah,
got a, I got a friend back at home. He called his boat the side chick.
I'll
Okay.
be dang.
Say, man.
Yeah, yeah, Murdoch, I'm with you too. The side imaging, and on top of that, you spend time with your electronics. It's
It
rare that I get out and not use my electronic. I mean, we paid all that money for it, so you may as well get the
when,
max use out of it.
when side engine came out, the brim was done. If it wasn't for
Yeah.
side engine, there's a lot of people that wouldn't catch them brim right now if it wasn't for
Yep.
side engine.
Yep.
When it came out, it just told with the brim like, we out and open now.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but it helps though. It helps people that don't know how to fish it and they can know how to read it. They can find them and have a good time with them and their kids.
I did want to say that I my resolution is better, and I just wanted to ask, without giving too much away. I feel like as we're talking about these beds, I noticed something close to waterside I've never noticed before. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?
What's that?
Not too far from the ramp. There's a I, I saw this time that when I pulled out what looked to be quite a few beds
Could be.
right
Yeah. A lot.
there.
A lot of what I will say this. If it don't look like the picture I showed earlier, because a lot of that you may be seeing is
Hmm.
is skeg marks
Okay,
from when the water was low.
I got you.
Yeah, because I see it all the time when I leave out of there too. I mean, it's just long lines that
Well,
you see.
I've seen the drags, and I know what
Yeah,
those are because I've
yeah.
made a few of them myself. But
Same
the
way with you. Say,
yeah. But no, this is like holes, and it might not be bluegill. It might be something smaller that's nesting up close to the marina right there.
it
But
could be bluegill too, though. It's that
Mm-hmm.
time.
They,
yeah,
they be right there close to Marine.
Uh huh.
okay,
They
Shallow,
love and that's something else too. They love boat ramps
yeah,
because it got the right bottom. The boat while you're loading your boat up, you're kicking up sand and gravel,
sure.
and that
yep.
little hump right there on the outside of that boat ramp is
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
every
tell you,
just about every boat ramp that I see got beds on it.
a beaver
Mm.
dam. Oh man, they'll load up on top of the side of a beaver dam, spun right on top of it. Be loads of beds right there. I done caught a ton of brim off of beaver dam. And lately, between the beaver
Yeah, I ain't.
dam, brim, and the snakes,
Yeah, yeah. We
yeah,
don't. I don't think I've ever. Well, I don't think I've ever seen a beaver dam down here. I mean,
man,
not on the lake.
yeah. They would spawn. They would make beds all around the beaver dam. You think they saying the beaver eating fish, but I don't think they make a bed around
Yeah,
You
they more
talking
of a.
about my wife, Craig? Did my wife drive my new boat? No, sir.
it.
I think she will though, won't she?
She that one probably not. She's okay with the pontoon, but that one no.
Okay.
We're gonna keep that one safe, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Slap B. If you learn how to use that SI, man, it's a great tool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like you said, you know, especially on deeper docks, you can definitely see even bridge pilings, timber, a good side imaging unit. You can see those
Mm-hmm.
crappie on it, and you don't and you know $400. I mean, uh, you you can find a SI unit right now. I mean, it won't find one used, uh, but you can probably find some decent 7, 8, 9 inch units for a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you know what? About 5 years ago, that $400 used unit was the best thing they had out there. So,
right, right,
and it worked just fine.
yep. I've caught a ton of limited crappie with just SI 2D and down. Well, I rarely use down imaging. I was more of a 2D
straight down.
guy. And huh?
My first unit was straight down imaging.
Oh, really?
Being
Yeah,
down at 688 I had that first one.
my yeah, my first unit was 2D, straight 2D, black and white.
2D and down imaging. That was it. Didn't
Yeah,
have
then
no.
they came out with down imaging. I got down imaging in 2D, and it was black and white. Then they came out with color, and I got that. Then SI hit, and it's been on and popping ever since. Pack one, what's going on, my man? Danny say in the summer, I go to the lake and fill up empty bottles with water and freeze them. Then I take the cap off and place in my live well. That's a big help, and it's the water temperature that makes the big difference with your live well.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You can ball them.
Craig say he can see
Mm-hmm.
the beds, and it depends on water clarity and the lake.
Yeah.
Some lakes they bed deeper, some they bed
Yeah.
shallower.
That's right.
Do you find that has to do with uh were you saying that has to do with clarity or temperature?
Now I think it's more temperature. And it's just you know different lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the lakes I've seen crystal clear. You can just look, you see them right there on the
They're
bed.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the lake back at home where I fish in Old Sling. It's dark. It's dark water, but it's really actually clear. But it's shaded by cypress trees so much as it's dark. But you can come up in some spots you can actually see the bed, but it be red clay mud. It's red clay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They bed. You can look over there like it's just all red as far as you can see it.
yeah,
Cast over there, that cork can just skate across the water. It's stacked in there.
yeah. Yeah, Slab B brought up another good thing too is that you can smell them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true without a doubt. And I'm gonna tell you now, it smells like a strong odor of pee.
Yeah, be fishy like
Yep, yep. Murdoch say he's found them with his nose.
that's it.
Super Dave, any of you guys that are on Facebook, this link right here will take you to a uh, uh, page on Facebook called Houston Area Crappie Fishing. Although it's called Houston Area, if you live in the United States, you're in the Houston area.
Right.
And it's a page to where you can post your report with pictures. You can also ask questions, comment on other people's post, all of it, all of it. Any of you guys that would like to get on the boat with me and see what it takes to find and catch bluegill or crappie, uh, this is my contact right here to book a trip. And if you would like to know what it is like to be on the boat with me, Joey, you did what, 5 or 6 trips with me already.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I give the real when you're on the boat. So
All right.
I will say, do SK a favor and request Conroe. Don't make that man go out to Lake Houston right now.
no, not right now. Without a doubt, not right now.
It's bad.
Hey, I talked to a client that on an upcoming trip. I said, look, man, we gonna have to do Conroe. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, yeah, but I live right here by Houston. I was like, look, you live right there by that lake, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I'll bet it's a week and a half out from getting back, getting back halfway decent.
Yeah. I don't care if you live on the south end of Lake Houston. You're gonna get home earlier going to Conroe than you would going to Lake Houston
Yeah,
right now with a sack. That's
right. Yep,
it's just oh I can't even imagine.
yep.
All right.
Yeah, Slappy say the shellcracker spawn a little deeper than the gills. I when I do find them on a bluegill bed, they are on the outskirts of it.
A lot of people get mixed. This you got some hybrids being there too.
Uh huh.
They
Yep.
be mixed in with them.
Slappy say as long as it's not called the SS Minnow or the Arca. That's funny. Do all shellcracker have red gills?
It is.
Uh, that is, yep.
They do.
And the females are uh a lot lighter yellow looking color, and during the
Mm-hmm.
spawn, the males they can be pitch black.
They turn just like the crappie turn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're mean too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, good fighting
yeah,
fish.
they are real aggressive.
Murdoch say bluegill telling the truth. May bluegill says my bluegill lake is getting taken over with grass, but the gill will clean out a spot.
When he good, when he
I
good,
got his gills. I have a lot of green crap everywhere. Yep.
yeah, it be their grass.
See, like a mess of collards.
Mm, yeah, that's true, man. When you gut them, they full of
Yeah.
grass.
Yeah, I don't ever cut the. Well, sometimes I'll, if I, I usually only keep the ones I can fillet, but sometimes I'll do a whole fry
Cause
on a
think about it,
bluegill.
they like the white person. They not hungry. They just hitting to get it out your
Yeah,
way.
they're aggressive.
They're
They
aggressive.
just yeah, they don't
It's,
want it
it's
in that bed.
correct, and that's why they get by around in the August. They pull because they haven't been eating. They just been spawning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Wayne say that they killed a couple of beavers over there by him.
yeah.
Craig CLBG up red clay.
Yeah. Oh, that red
New
clay.
red will come up.
Hey, I'll take you down home. You'll know why I come up. They be stacked in that red clay mud. Stacked in it.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig say, did you fish off? I think you were just mostly dialing in and just checking the boat control, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
excuse
mean,
me.
I
Y'all give me a minute.
Yeah.
I went and that was one of the things that I did mainly was just trying to see if I could sneak up on them. Those fish are
They,
crazy spooky. What I did see is they were buried in structure.
yeah.
Had a couple that were off structure, but sunk in to the bottom. And then I did see some fish that were suspended and tilted up a little bit, so I knew they were feeding.
Yeah.
But the slightest sound, they take off.
Wow. You was on Houston?
Yeah, yeah. So I was just really practicing holding over piles and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Boat control down.
yeah, using my foot, working
Yeah.
my brakes, all that stuff, because that's a whole new element for me now.
This is it Bluetooth or is it full?
Yeah, it's the Garmin, so it's an electronic assist. So yeah, I guess it is Bluetooth because it's
Your foot pedal?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
got a tension to it, so you don't
And you
just
can adjust that too.
yeah. It's pretty good right where it's at, but
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Dude, you had a remote to come with it, right?
Yeah, it came with a remote. I didn't even pull it out of the bag.
You trying to use foot? Okay.
I'm trying to use my foot because, you know, if it's one thing I've figured out being on a boat with SK, it's there are times where you need both hands. You need to be peeling line with your left hand, rod tip control with your right hand. You're controlling your trolling motor with your right foot, and you're tapping brakes with your left. So you might look like a one man band out there on the front of that boat some days when the wind is right, but
Yep.
Right.
whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what. One thing that's helped me out. Speaking of brakes, you got your stump switch mounted.
It is not mounted.
Uh, I got a aluminum plate from
Mm-hmm.
Jeff. I can't remember Jeff's last name to save my life, but man, I'm gonna tell you, he had already drilled the holes. I think he had it on his boat, and he was saying that he really didn't like it. But man, I'm gonna tell you that thing is because I like moving. I don't have my foot pedal. I keep it out of the tray because
Mm-hmm.
I want it to where I'm sitting at. I want it comfortable, and I constantly move my stomp switch too. But I mounted it on a aluminum plate. I don't know the measurements on it, but he gave it to me. So all I had to do was just put the two screws in it, put my switch on there, and man, I'm gonna tell you something. That thing helps a lot. It
Mhm.
makes fishing comfortable. Being able to move your foot, your troll motor, foot pedal, and that
Mm-hmm.
stomp switch, and it makes it good.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. And before I just had my stomp switch just sitting on the floor, and it constantly move. And but with that aluminum plate, wherever I put it at, that's where it stays at.
Cool.
I want to bring that up too.
Yeah. My uh pocket for my foot controller is so it's got an insert that you can pull out and move that foot controller back closer to you.
Hmm.
And so I didn't pull mine out. It's still sitting there. And I also use the Bass Cat stop seat. I
Hmm.
didn't take
Oh, the
my
butt seat.
Millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Millennium's going on,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna pull that foot switch, that insert out, and pull that. Um, that's it's great, that seat that Bass Cat made. It's really comfortable, and it's great
Hmm.
if you want to sit up there like Bill Dance and lean
Yeah.
back and bass fish and
Yeah.
cast. But it's not. You got to be
Yeah.
up
It's
on
not
your
sit down and
toes.
get comfortable. Yeah.
No, it wants you to lean back, and when you're fishing crappie
Yeah.
fishing, you're not leaning back.
Now, now,
So,
Roger say he's in the house. SK Roger, don't
right?
book you soon for some. I think he says going to book you soon for some crappie. Let me know. Brim bears are one of the easiest things to see on SI, even if you don't have your unit tuned in perfect.
Right.
If it looks like a bunch of craters on the moon, you got beds.
That's right. Easy.
Okay, let's get Conroe for some crappie. Let me know. Let me know. Craig say no more red and white jig jokes. The new jokes start with the excess minnow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you, Craig.
It Hey,
yeah.
it's red and gray. I did get red and gray.
Oh, you
Uh
did?
oh.
Yeah, the boat is. It's got red accents on it.
You ought to get you some red and white jigs then.
I got some. I got some. I dropped one with a white nibble on it just to prove it could be worked with. But
Yeah, I'm not for sure. Murdoch talking about how you can see those brim in the beds. I'm not for sure because I just took a picture of my screen with my phone and the sun was out pretty bright, but I could see it. Oh, here's one right here. You can see those. Well, I don't know if it's gonna show on here. So you can
Kind of.
see those white dots in there in the holes.
Yeah.
Those are fish in those pockets. And this is about the only bed that I found where there was that many fish in there, and you can actually tell that that's fish in those beds.
Yeah, you can see them when they're in there.
Yeah,
Like
but my that picture is just not a good picture because, like I say, the sun was really bright that day. But
mm-hmm.
you get the point of what beds look like on SI.
Correct.
Thumpaholic, what's going on, my man? Another piece of advice is you're gonna spend the money to buy a 10 or 12-inch unit. Take the time to learn how to read SI. All it takes is using it. It will come to you, I promise.
That's right.
See, that's. I remember when SI came out, man. I'm gonna tell you, I spent so much time with that daggone unit. I idle so much that it's that dang doggle. I can't talk. I can't say nothing bad about it because I've idled. I can't tell you how many hours just staring at that unit,
That's right.
and it's an excellent tool for crappie too because you can find the structure. One
Yeah.
thing that I will say that it does not do very well, and that is CPVC.
Oh yeah.
It don't see PVC worth a dime.
Nah.
But I'll tell you, that's one of the things that I didn't like about Live Scope when it first came out because I had so much PVC in Lake Houston that, well, I found so much PVC in Lake Houston
You found PVC the live scope couldn't see. You found
yeah,
it.
that the SI could see.
You just.
But when Live Scope came out, man,
Mm.
everybody was all over it. So it is what it is.
That's right. That's right.
I need
About,
to. I need to
about to
get that.
incriminate myself.
I need to get that. I need to get some of that SK X-ray vision myself. No wonder you catch so many fish.
Yeah. I got some out there in East Bank out there.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
A couple piles of it.
yeah.
Surprised me.
Reason I say that I know several that has big units and don't have a clue how to read it. Yep.
Right. They don't.
If your settings are wrong, it could be a 38-inch unit. You ain't gonna see
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to read it, I mean,
Yeah,
it's useless.
it'll be a blur.
I'm glad I got SK as my friend.
Yeah.
Not that be a blur.
Wayne say they must like only certain spots to make beds. Yeah, it got to be right depth
Yeah,
and
it gotta be
right
right.
location.
That's right. They
I
will.
can't tell you the determine. It's was something that they determine.
Hmm.
One thing I will say is usually if you find a good area, they usually come back unless that area get dogged out.
Correct.
Uh,
Either
but
bad weather come in a couple years and wash it out.
yeah,
They'll move. They'll move. But for the most part of it, they'll sit there for years if you just don't just hurl them out. They'll keep coming back.
yeah. Murdoch says, SK, I was just saying, sometimes if your unit is not set where it needs to be, you won't see those dots. Yep. Some folks have never used it. Yep. Yep. Got to have it dialed in.
Correct.
Something about electronics to remember is a lot of times less is more.
That's right.
Sometimes you're gonna feel tempted to turn something up, and you really need to turn it
Turn it
down.
down. Exactly. Yeah. I tell you what, it's like it's no different than if you got a radio on that's real staticky.
Mm-hmm.
The higher you turn it up, the more staticky it's gonna get. It's the same deal. So if it's staticky, turn it down. Just like on a unit. If especially now we got this thermocline coming in and we're dealing with the tree pollen and all that. So anytime that unit is blowed out, turn it down a lot. A lot of times will help you.
That's right.
I totally agree on that. Black Smoke say he caught 155 crappie Sunday, all 8 to 9 inches.
That's a lot of crop still.
Yep,
That's
Okay.
some fine eating though.
I'll get
I
the
can
number.
remember. I can remember back in the day,
Okay. Okay.
but they were all whole fry.
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, 8 or 9 inch crappie. That's woo.
How big is that pond he's fishing? That's got to be a pond or a private lake.
Who's that? Black
Black
smoke?
smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
cleaning it.
not sure.
Mm,
I'm not sure.
I know Craig's got a honey hole in his backyard.
yeah.
He posts pictures of some big fish.
Yep, yep. Bass too.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got it lucky, man. Just walk out your back door and whale the
Uh,
line.
That's right.
so I had a limb fall. We've had all this high wind, and I had a limb fall during the first set of storms, and it sat out by one of the bank lines that I know the bass like to hang out at, and
Uh-huh.
it sat there for probably 3 days, and I didn't think anything of it, and I took a little 1/32 ounce silver with a yellowtail hand tie, and I was just bobbing it around that limb because it had been sitting there, and it got real heavy and the drag started screaming, and it was about a 4.5 pound bass ate that little bitty old 1/32 ounce.
Oh yeah. That come
Yep.
around the structure. Hey,
Yeah,
Did you put structure in it when you built it?
yeah, I've got some of that SKPVC magic in my pond too.
Okay. Yeah, Slap B, I tell you what, man. But one of the things that irks me the most, uh, I'm talking for several years. I've been one that I love fishing small structure. And uh, there's the thing is, I, I I don't care about somebody coming behind me fishing that stuff, but when you come behind me and figure you're gonna improve an area that you've seen somebody else catching fish in that you can't catch fish in, it kills it.
correct.
And I've seen so many times where somebody come out there and it's an area that produce fish very well, and they'll drop a big old pile down there, thinking that hey, I'm gonna try to attract them to here, and guess what? It kills that spot
Mm-hmm.
because those fish don't go to that big pile and they don't go to that small pile no more.
What they done is they cut the bait supply off.
Yeah.
Bait is running through there. It's a stream. It's the reason why them fish there because the bait coming through there. And once they drop some on top of that spot, the bait reroute. So the fish have to reroute. So that's what they doing. They're not
Yeah,
realizing what they're doing. They killing the bait. They cutting the bait off.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bait like the spot because it's a good spot or they out of the current or something like that.
And the
So,
fish use a small structure as an ambush spot.
Mm-hmm.
correct.
One of the
Yep.
best things you can look for is piles that are just off of heavy current areas, because heavy current areas are basically just channels. That's a highway.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
bait balls travel that, and basically those fish lay up in the timber, and then as bait starts coming by, they'll come and emerge out of it, and they pick it off here and there. you know
Right.
that's when you start seeing suspended fish, you know aimed up or whatever. But if you disrupt that flow, they don't want it. And talking about fishing areas and overfished areas and things like that, one of my best spots that consistently produces is a spot I've never seen another boat sitting, and I act like I'm leaving every time I see a boat coming up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. And it's a great spot. It's not like it's perfectly hidden or anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
wide out in the open. But I just think it's in an area that people drive right past and don't think anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the name of the
And,
game.
and another thing, now this is crappie, but bluegill talk too. But if you get on a spot and those fish are super spooky, you best believe it's an area that's getting hit hard.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you now, there is a marked spot on one of the lakes that we fish. Marked. Always a boat sitting on it. They're usually dropping minnows down there. But every time I go to that spot, I get 4 or 5 fish off of it. And it's a marked spot. I mean, it's marked. I mean, you can see it. It's right there. So, and not only if somebody go there and don't disturb the area too much, you can go there with a different technique, target those fish, and still catch fish. Way back in the day, I used to worry about people that would fish wild. Now I really don't care because I mean I don't want to go to an area that's been pounded and got the fish spooky. Uh, there are some areas that I see that people fish on. Okay, they can have it because there's just so many, especially Lake Houston. Man, there's so many spots on that lake that is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
You can't
people.
even tell they plucked all that timber out. It's
Nah, man,
all
it's three times
back
more in
again.
there already.
Yeah.
It's three times more than what they took out of there in there now.
Hmm.
Trees everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and hey, for y'all that are gonna start going out and trying Lake Houston again, be careful.
Oh yeah,
I rolled up on floaters that I almost marked as trees sticking up. They were that big.
yeah.
And if you don't think a floater won't send you off the front of your boat at
Yeah.
40, 50 miles an hour, it will.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful, especially coming out of the East Fork into the main lake. It is nothing like what it's ever been before.
Yep. It changes, but every time you hit a storm, it changes big time.
It's crazy how narrow that pass has gotten now coming out of the East Fork.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, it's a slim little narrow area now that you can that you go out of now.
Yeah.
When I went through
Well,
there and
when that
It's,
island was there, it forced more current through there, so it kept it
mm-hmm,
washed out. But now they got
yeah,
all like a big old flat right there, so that sediment and sand, all this stuff, it comes right. It's gonna close off here eventually.
you
yeah,
should have took the island right there.
Yeah, you fished that lake when that island was there, right?
mm-hmm.
You remember the island was right there at the mouth,
The island was great. You could fish
and
around it all day.
exactly, and could boat on both sides of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now you try to go on that right going towards the main lake, you go to that right side, you go you gonna find
Yeah.
bottom real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, you right up. If you were heading down into the lake, right there on that left side of the island, there was a 15-foot hole right there, and it had timber all in it.
Yep.
And I mean, that was a great spot to find your
Hmm.
areas with because it would gradiate. But I mean, you had a big deep hole right there on that one side. On the other side, it was what 6, 8 foot on the other side of it.
Yeah, but before what was that storm? Right after Harvey, it was a
Imelda.
Imelda. So when Harvey hit, it made that hole on the right side of that island 20 something foot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then Imelda came and filled it in,
Yeah.
and then
Washed it all.
yep, that's when it turned it at 6 foot. I used to catch a
Mm-hmm.
lot of crappie around that island, man. I'm talking about,
The mill dumped them big old trees in the front end of it.
yeah,
It's,
Imelda changed the bottom of that lake more than Harvey did.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It did.
Burchett says, I know what best looking perspective mode will work perfect. That is the only purpose that I feel perspective mode is good for, in my opinion, is finding bluegill beds. But if you use the perspective, you know what they look like now, and it will help you big time.
Correct.
I think Craig was asking me when was the next time I was going live on the water. Good question, man. Good question. I need to do it because I know a lot of people. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, especially if it's like Houston. A lot of people like seeing me struggle. I don't know why, but especially those nighttime trips. I don't know what to do to catch the crappie at night. I really don't. Not on Lake Houston. Uh, I do feel that they go super shallow. I'm talking about 2 foot of water, 2, 3 foot of water. But I just don't have it figured out yet.
Hmm.
Slabby said when I first got far facing sonar, I went to all the spots I knew where I thought there was PVC beds. There you go. There you go. Yeah, live scope was an eye opener, man, big time.
See y'all later. All right.
Oh,
Let me
Black Smoke says it's a private lake. What's the size of it, Black Smoke? Do they make an auto steer on a boat like I do on my tractor? Not on a ship. They do. Slabby say PVC beds. You can see the base of what the PVC was mounted in DI, but not the PVC itself. Yep. But those days are over. I'll tell you what. Some of that PVC, once they got a heavy coat of
see.
algae,
Yeah, algae and moss on it.
and on top of that, if it was stacked with fish, you could see the fish there.
Mm-hmm.
And that, a lot of times I would just pass by one of my PVC piles. If I didn't see a cluster there from where I could see the fish, I just keep on going.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Yep. There's never been this many crappie in this lake in the 27 years I fished there.
Wow.
I mean, it had a
They
excellent
boom, yeah.
spawn. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne, PVC like a pipe, the pipe PVC. Joey,
Mhm.
how much fuel will your bass cat hold?
It
Also, always heard bass cats are really dirty ride in choppy water, or really dry ride.
dry ride. So
Yeah.
I'll tell Murdoch, I 55 or 60 gallons, and I can attest to the fact that I was taking heavy wind broadside going into current, and the boat slap was hitting, and the way they've got those right under the gunnels, the way they've got that hull dished out, it throws the water back out and down towards the lake. And so where I would be, I should have been soaking wet. I didn't get a drop on me. So they're a very dry hull from
Hmm.
all angles.
Yeah, the nitro have that too, but I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you, if you idling, if you're idling in a heavy chop, that
Mm-hmm.
spray, you can see that spray jump
It
up and
still
it'll
come
it'll
up.
get on you. But as soon as you jump on top, you can see it
It
throwing that water out.
yeah.
And it's like you say, right on that side, they got that
Mm-hmm.
little outward
Like a scoop. Yeah.
like a scoop. Yep, yep. Larry say some of the crappie he's been catching lately have a yellow tint to the flesh. Is that from absorbing their eggs back?
Ask him, have you been leaving them in the live well too long?
That's
That's
that's a
coming. I think that's coming from that bladder right there. That bladder's right there. I think that's where that's coming from.
yeah,
If he ain't put no ice on him, leaving him in the live well, that's where that's coming from.
Do
yeah.
you notice a different tint in the meat in a black crappie versus a white? Because I
Now,
not
but some
really
yeah, now not necessarily black to white, but sometimes I'll catch it could be white or black, and they'll have a different shade of
like a tint to it.
like a different tint. Yeah, but once you
Mm-hmm.
fry them up, man, it's all
Oh yeah, they you don't taste it or anything. It's
now
just
now.
I've
I've seen
noticed.
that yellow or orangish sort of
Mm-hmm.
tint. Yeah, yeah. But I see that black and white crappie.
It doesn't.
And
It's not
yeah,
species specific.
no,
No,
not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. Anybody still catching fish with crappie with eggs in them, bright with heavy blood veins?
I ain't catching no crap.
Come on now, you caught a crop. You did catch a crappie the other day.
I caught a few of them. That's about it.
Did they was it black crappie or white crappie?
Black.
Black. Do they still have eggs?
Nah.
No eggs.
Nah. If I did, I think I saw some, but they were like a dull brownish, like they were about gone.
Yeah.
They
Craig,
absorb them back in their body, whatever, eat them or
yeah.
whatever they do.
Craig, I used to think that water temp made a difference. The day length is growing, but this year the crappie have shown me that really don't mean anything because I'm seeing uh it rained most of this week. Last week I caught a fish I know was still spawning. Super bright yellow eggs, heavy blood veins still going to the egg sacs. Water temp 76 degrees. Uh, I used to think that crappie from 60 to 65, somewhere in there, that they would be heavy spawning. Uh, but I didn't see that this year. Uh, my thing is get on the lake when you can and let them tell you where they at.
Yeah.
Uh, I've seen so many people that go strictly by what they've read or heard, and it's just I will never ever tell somebody when I see this, this is what I'm gonna do. My thing is I'm gonna always say that when I get to the lake, I'm gonna have a question mark on my forehead and listen to what those fish are doing, and that's the biggest thing. Uh, right now, I feel that they're definitely on the downside because I'm catching some males that are super thin, so I know they've been putting the work in. But I'm still, as of last week, I was still catching uh, crappie that had really good looking eggs in them, to whereas I know that they were gonna spawn them out.
Gotcha.
I think
I'm not.
maybe I
Oh, go
think
ahead.
I think we're a week out of a full moon too, so just get ready for that to happen again.
Yep, yep, and that's gonna boost that bluegill bite, that bluegill spawn up a notch too.
Mm-hmm. They
Yeah,
about
Jr.
to.
I'm not sure that they gonna dredge that. They've dredged it out once already, and it's just gonna be a constant battle, man. That will never ever ever end as long as 1960 bridge is right there. That
Oh,
bridge is the biggest bottleneck on that lake.
they making money. No, they making
That
money
too, I
off
know
of.
that they're. Well, I can't say I know, but I'm willing to bet there's some kickback going on too. They're
Yeah.
spending some money on that dredging, dude.
Yeah.
Burchett say the people that like to see you struggle are fans too. Yeah,
Right.
yep. All you say is 180 acres. That's nice size lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice side lake. You can run a motor now.
He don't have his transducer on a pole. Murdoch, I mean Craig. Murdoch said you can see stake beds on SI. Uh, you're not seeing the actual stakes, but the shadows of them. Yep, fishing water. That's new to me. So it's my go-to tool. I may spend 2 hours just looking around with the SI, without a doubt. Definitely how I break down a lake.
That's right.
From Murdoch says, from everything I'm hearing from my friends that have time to fish, the spawn is about over in his area.
Hmm.
Super cool. JR says crappie with the darker tint meat are the ones with a six pack, and the other are couch potatoes.
Hmm.
Now I will say this: in some cases, in some instances, diet does change the not only the exterior color of a crappie, but also it can affect the meat. Their
Mm.
diet can. I've seen and read. I, I've read that. Burgess said he caught 14 black crappie, no large egg sacs. What lake are you like? He's fishing Conroe.
Colorado. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's fishing Conroe. Greg said there's research and there is reality, without a
Correct.
doubt.
Yep.
Major Brown, what's going on, my man? Early egg development here in northern Illinois. Another 8 to 10 days it's on. What's y'all's water temp up there, Major Brown?
Out of 40.
Hey, they still been having some cold weather up there.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend up there right now.
Craig say crappie spun from mid. I don't know about that one. Well, that's maybe up to where you are, mid-April to mid-May here most of the time. I've seen these fish bed as early as end of January, into February, starting to get shallow here.
I done caught him shallow February.
Yeah.
Easy.
Remember, like I said, May is a tough month to crappie fish in my area in south central Mississippi. When they get out of this post-spawn laziness, it will get good again. Yeah, I hate all phases of the spawn. Nothing stays the same.
Mm-mm.
Nah, that's right.
Craig said, "Don't shake your head, Joey." Oh,
Yeah.
Birch say he's in Arkansas
Okay.
fishing Bear Creek. Okay, I thought you was here in Texas.
He still fishing some good water up there.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
He's
Arkansas
just,
got some good lakes. I think I asked him that it was somebody else that said it was from Arkansas. I think
okay.
63 degrees.
That ain't bad.
Yep. JLD said they're supposed to eventually make Kingwood Bridge go across. Huh?
They've been talking that for a lot of years.
What's,
Kingwood Drive, their Kingwood Drive is actually broken up by Lake Houston, the East Fork. It it's not far north of from Waterside Marina, the Huffman side of it, and it hits 2100. But yeah, they've been talking for a lot of years that eventually they figured they were gonna have to make a pass through from Kingwood to Huffman across the East Fork. And it there is a Kingwood Drive, and it's
Oh, okay.
you can see because it runs through my neighborhood. You can see where they've got the easements already there to make it 4 lanes instead of two.
Mm-hmm.
So they planned for the future years and years ago. I just don't know
Yeah.
how long they think it's going to take them to do it.
I tell you what, that area is booming with new
Yeah, it
housing,
is.
man. I mean, the
I'll
traffic
I'm
out there is crazy, dude.
I'll sell anybody a house here wants to buy one, but I want to sell mine before it in
Are you
about.
going? You just bought that house, didn't you?
Well, I
You
built
just
it
had
three
it
years
built.
ago.
Yeah.
Once my kids are out of school, I'll be in my mid 50s. I don't need to be mowing 4 acres and
Yeah, I feel you
doing
on
all
that.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 10, 12 years from now. I don't
Okay.
want to talk too loud. My wife will hear me. I'll get in trouble.
I'm gonna buy for you by then. I'll be in my retirement plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you don't take all the fish out the pond.
No, no, they'll still be there.
Yeah,
Just
he's
say,
just feeding them now and having fun with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I got is I got some big green sunfish cross in there.
you probably got them old dogs in there. They got a rock mile bass, like a bass mile.
Bigger mouth, yeah.
Them rock bass.
Yeah.
We call them dogs. That's what they are.
They never I didn't put them in there. They're just naturally there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what them are.
Kusi say he went and knocked him a 50 uh 50 sack off of nice gills out of Arkansas River.
Okay,
So he used a lemon lime tadpole.
okay. Hmm.
How'd
Nah,
you get that thumbs up over there? Did you see that? Somebody gave you a thumbs up, Joey.
Oh, I
You
don't
didn't
know.
see it?
Yeah, I saw it when I looked at my other computer screen.
Yeah.
I did. It's probably Craig over there trying to love on me.
That's my first time ever seeing that. I've never seen that.
I never saw it.
Yep. Well, guys, we've been on a good while, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about crapped out.
Yeah, I
Um,
ain't had like 2 hours of sleep, so I need to give me a little more rest before these people call me.
Now I don't get no grass carp. Yeah, I feel you, Gil.
Grass caught.
Yeah, he say get rid of the grass,
Oh,
man. Grass
sorry.
is good for the
Yeah,
fish.
yeah. Good habitat.
I
Yep.
use tilapia. Tilapia keep my pond clear.
Okay.
The cold water in the wintertime kills enough of them off that they get a chance to the big ones survive, but the young ones kind of die off and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
feed the birds, and then I don't have to try to clear them out. But no, I put tilapia in that thing, and I don't. It clears it up big time. They eat all that
Nice.
algae.
Yeah.
I know Lake Houston full of them. I hadn't seen that in a while. The last cold fronts we had, they used to pop up dead, floating on that sucker. I ain't
Yeah,
seen that.
they'll pop up dead, and when it's real hot, if you look out and you don't get too close to them, every now and then you'll see a white back just real close to the surface.
Yeah.
and that's them. They just come up real close to the top of the water.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see
I
them in
know
the lily pads a lot.
they will
Mm-hmm.
come if we got a tree limb hanging in the water. They will come up and get attached to that tree limb. But I
Yep.
haven't seen none in a while.
Oh, cut my lawn.
Correct. Something. Craig. So I know we didn't talk a lot about crappie today, but I feel that on some lakes they could be out as deep as 25 foot of water,
Yeah.
and I know that on Lake Houston, especially with this influx of dirty water that's going through there, and anytime that happens on Lake Houston, I rarely catch them any deeper than 8 foot of water.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough fishing, but it sort of gathers those fish up in certain areas, but being able to get close enough to them to drop a jig on them can be tough because when that water's super dirty the way it is, they get super spooky. And
Yeah,
Craig, I
you're
mean,
40
Joey can.
foot. Yeah, 40 foot out. They one little noise and they're gone.
Yep.
And you're not. They won't even stop. You won't catch them. I think
Hmm.
Ray posted that he was catching them 15 to 30 on Conroe.
Oh, really?
Yep. I think that was today on the page. I think I read that.
Yeah.
He
15 foot's
find.
been good
Yeah.
for me on Conroe.
I
15 to
was just.
20.
I was just happy to see he wasn't posting pictures with red jigs hanging out their mouth.
I think that was a one time
That,
and done deal for him. I think that was a one time and done deal for him.
yeah, it
But
looked
guys,
like he was using a chartreuse with a pink head today.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's get out of here. It done got late. You fishing tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I have to see, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I
you
ran off and got a job, so I got a
come
meeting.
on now. Oh yeah,
Hey,
with the
yeah,
real estate.
I got, I got, I got real estate stuff going on.
Nice, nice. It's
Hey,
nothing but
man.
more money.
That's right.
That's somebody got to pay for that stupid boat.
Yep,
That's right. Hey,
yep.
trust me. That's what
Yes,
we work
sir.
for. That's what we work for.
Super Dave,
Mm-hmm.
I really do appreciate you. Slick, all you other guys that's here. I really do appreciate you joining us tonight and conversating and Joey, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Enjoy that new boat. I can't
That's
wait. See,
right.
there's another thumbs up.
I see.
Hey, it's just it's
It's in the
giving me all the
bubble.
love tonight.
It is in the bubble. It's in the bubble. Why is it in the
Mm-hmm.
bubble?
It knows what I'm thinking. It's like, hey, good deal.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
LBG, appreciate you coming on.
All right,
Uh,
no problem.
and we will see everybody next week. Same time, same flavor.
Peace.
See ya.
Peace.
All right.